make any sense to me. And when you say, well, what could they do? It's very cynical on my part. I admit that. I've not expressed anything cynical to this point. If you remember, when the last the recall election was over with the governor, and you heard the statement that the state is open for business, I made the statement, we're not open for business, we're up for sale.
Yeah.
The state of Wisconsin is up for sale. What do I mean by that? Who makes the contributions?
Yeah.
Who puts the bucks on the table and makes campaign contributions is who gets hurt. Personal opinion? Not it's almost embarrassing. You've been reading in the paper about this this episode at the state about the the grant that was issued, $500,000 to the a group dealing with hunting and fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Where did you hear about it?
they had to rescind it because they found there was contributors were trying to influence this awarding of a $500,000 grant to a group that was politically tied to the legislature and the governor. We shouldn't be doing that in Wisconsin. You know, we make fun of Illinois, the dirty politics in Illinois. I think Wisconsin has moved right to the head of the class on
Dirty tricks.
you know, we're doing all right. Illinois has, I think, 3 governors in prison right now.
Oh, my God.
But we had a governor that had, what, 6 of the people around him put in jail, his closest associates. That's interesting. Either that's bad management, or he was involved. I don't know which one, but if my secretary and the people around me are engaging in illegal activities, and I don't know anything about it, shame on me.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good manager. If Mr. Tomaszewski is pocketing some money, and I don't know it, shame on me, then I should be held accountable as the manager. And I don't know if it was 6, I can't remember. Does anyone know how many people around him were convicted?
I think it's 4 for sure.
4?
4 for sure. I think 2 are still in trial.
Okay.
That they haven't
Haven't been convicted at this point. And it goes back to his time when he was the county executive in Milwaukee. But again, not to be judgmental, but I have felt the state of Wisconsin is up for sale. The mine up in northern Wisconsin, now they're going to pass legislation to take land around the mine. Not that I don't think mining is an important process, but it just seems that we as people who don't make campaign contributions or can't, don't seem to get as much play in the legislative process as those people who have money and can put the money on the table.
Can you wrap up with something positive?
I was gonna say exactly the same. What we can do, what is it to do?
Well,
What is the hope?
as teachers, what we can do is keep doing a good job. We have to continue serving the children, making contributions not necessarily financial, but we need to make sure that the children are being served well, that we work with parents. I have not seen the turnover in education like I'm seeing now. You're to be commended in this class. I have seen a significant decrease in my teachers taking graduate level courses. I've seen, I shouldn't say that. I see very few teachers now in the Ridgefield School District and in talking to my Nicolay teachers, they're not taking courses. You know why?
Because you don't get reimbursed, and our pay now is decreased, we don't get it.
Yeah.
We make
You
you
don't-
overqualified.
School districts, school boards, and I don't know if Mosquito is this way, Hamilton, Racine, you don't have to have salary schedules anymore.
No.
We don't have a salary schedule. I don't know if Hamilton does, but you don't have salary schedules where you can move vertically for years of experience
No.
or horizontally for graduate work. If you don't move horizontally, people are saying, I can't afford the course of going to Concordia University. I mean, it's, you should want to, of course. We all should want to improve. But in education, the movement horizontally and the movement vertically, whether they are an accurate measurement of a person's worth, we can argue. I do think, as I discussed with my board, which is they're a very reasonable and good board. One of my board members is an insurance executive, and I said to him, do you think you are better today after 10 years as an insurance executive than you were in your first year? Are you better? And he said, well, of course I'm better now. I said, why is it different for a teacher with experience? Positive, why would you deny that a teacher gets better as they have experience in their profession? So why in the private sector does experience count? But in the public sector with you as teachers, it doesn't count. You don't get better.
No.
So,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask off that point you made. If you see less teachers progressing in their education, say to even get an administrative license, do you foresee a shortfall of administrators? And if so, how would you see that shortfall being filled if people aren't being educated to get that license that's beyond the standard
very
teaching
good question.
license?
I'll answer it, but
We have these positions now in our district they were called leaps, but nobody knew what that meant. And so now they're called academic deans, and basically it's just teachers that now they've given the power to go out and do administrative walkthroughs and evaluations, and they're doing some of the data work. So basically they're now doing some of those administrative jobs so that we can decrease the number of administrators at the district level, like in the admin building, as well as in each individual building. That's what we're doing.
your question is very relevant as it relates to, it's very relevant, put a period in it, but it's especially relevant as it deals with the effective teaching concept and the new evaluation system that's coming to the state of Wisconsin, where you have to have administrators to do the evaluation that will be used to determine 50% of your pay. Do I think there are fewer people going into administration today than there were when I was starting to go through the ranks? The answer is yes. I think there is a crisis in Wisconsin on those people going into the superintendency. There is a rapid turnover in the superintendency. People don't survive. They get beaten up. They get beaten up by the school boards. It's a very political position, and they get beaten up. In Richfield, prior to my coming, they had 5 superintendents in 4 years. They just were eating them up. And teachers, you eat up superintendents too. And I'm not, that's just, there's the workplace, a school is a workplace. And many people think a school is just a nice place where the kids come and they learn
listen,
and
yeah.
everybody's
Everything is
happy.
perfect.
How can you, a workplace can be a very difficult political structure. And if you don't know how to work within that political structure, you will not survive. I thought your question, so I think the school boards, with the authority that they now have, where they don't have to bargain, they have to show enlightenment by having programs that encourage you to go to school. They don't necessarily, but they should and they may as time progresses. The boards may think right now, hey, this is great. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. And they're gonna find that turnover in administration and in teaching is harmful to their children. Their children.
I think that something that should be considered is, all this amount of teachers that have to retire because they were losing their benefits with the contract.
Yeah.
In terms of experience, how will the schools perform after such a loss? It's not, it's not under rating new teachers, but there's a big gap that is not transitioning normally.
I
So,
think you're
big
correct.
amount of experience gone, and then new people that are looking somewhere for help and they don't have it.
But you have to respect experience as an administrator or teacher to worry about the loss of experience. When Act 10 was initiated, I was president of an organization, still am, called the Wisconsin K-8 Union High School District Coalition. There are 54 school districts in Wisconsin that are either K-8s, they only go through 8th grade, or they're union high schools. Nicolay was a union high school which only has grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we had the Speaker of the House, or the Speaker of the Assembly in Wisconsin speak to us. And one of his comments dealt with, well, we can save money if the teacher with experience is gone and we bring in new, young teachers. So what? We've saved money. We're going to balance the budgets. We cut down on the expense of education. Wasn't necessarily well received by people in the audience, but there is a belief anybody can do what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can do it. Go up and
Go ahead and do it, yeah.
teach school.
You know, I actually,
Why does it take training? Why should you be here listening to this guy?
yes, because we're crazy.
Entertaining.
It's entertaining, right? Anybody can do it. You don't need a bachelor's degree. You don't need, in fact, in the choice program, there isn't a requirement that you be a licensed teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
You do have to have,
a bachelor's degree.
is that the choice or is that the charter program?
That
Charters,
changed
you need
this
a
You
year
do,
because they
you
had.
do. So if I'm mistaken, and that's part of accountability.
But they don't need a license.
But probably they just changed that because in the past they were not required to have licensed teachers.
No, they don't, not now.
No.
They don't have to have
Whether
a
it's something
license.
positive or not, there still are a couple cases hanging out there with Act 10. Judge Colas was part of the Madison that had put a stay on some parts of Act 10, and they're still in a stay, meaning it's not to be enforced. Judge Conley ruled on the 11th that the actions that were brought against Act 10 aren't valid. It's not unconstitutional. And so, at least dealing in that case where Judge Conley was dealing, that's over. It's done. It's an interesting turn of events. Wisconsin has been a state historically that has supported public sector bargaining, public sector service, and this was a dramatic change. If my memory was correct, this topic was not raised during the election
No,
of 2010.
no.
It came up after the election was over and it was implemented. And that's what caused the
exactly.
recall,
Yeah.
which the governor won. He won the recall, Governor Walker. But just think for a moment, if in a foreign country, there was a demonstration of 125,000 people, let's say it's in Moscow, there's a demonstration of 125 people. What would the news media be saying in America about a demonstration like that? That's what happened in Madison, Wisconsin, against Act 10. We would say there's a revolution if it was happening in another country, if you had groups like that. And it wasn't just one day. I did not go to any of the demonstrations.
I did.
I wasn't there. But it is a historic event
I did.
in history to have a group of people from a state be so upset in February in Wisconsin. If you just think about it, you have people on the corner signing petitions in February. This isn't Florida where it's nice. It's
Yeah.
cold.
Freezing.
And the election turned out the way it did. There was, the governor sustained his office, but it still tells you that people were feeling very strong had a strong feeling about this, and it wasn't just teachers. It was, other people felt strongly about it as well. The grievances have not been redressed, or have not been addressed. They haven't been solved, they're still there. Whether they should be addressed or not is up for the public debate, and that's what makes America the place it is, where we can debate it and discuss it still, and still live together as a group. But Act 10 is something that will change your lives.
There were even Republicans who were saying, you know, I'm a Republican, I voted for him, but I'm with you guys because this is not fair. So they were, yeah.
So, Mr.
Well,
Tomaszewski?
thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for
much.
all that. The state of Wisconsin, thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you notice what I gave him when I walked in?
No.
I gave him a golf club.
Ah.
That's mine, by the way.
Well, it was nice meeting all of you.
It was very nice meeting you. Thanks for
Let's take
coming.
about a 10-minute break and get back to chapter 2.
Creo que voy a, I'm not gonna
wanna
keep
cry.
with this class, because it's no future.
Anybody want to see the?
So
the
I'm
list?
just gonna pack all my stuff. I wanna see it, I wanna see it.